I used to count down the days. 1, 2, 3, until the one that was supposed to matter, my birthday. I imagined the smell of frosting, the sound of wrapping paper tearing, the flicker of candles glowing just for me. But reality? Reality was silence. 6 years in a row. Forgotten. Erased. Like I was never even born. Mom? I remember whispering once, standing in the kitchen. Do you know what day it is? She barely looked up from her laptop. I supped swamped with work, sweetheart. We sup celebrate later. Later never came. I tried again the next year. Dad, maybe we could do something small. Doesn't have to be a party, just dinner. He patted my shoulder, eyes on the TV. Maybe next weekend, champ. Things are hectic. I nodded. Pretended it was fine. Pretended it didn't shatter something inside me. My sister, she laughed. God, you are so dramatic. It's Sep's just a birthday. Who cares? I cared. I cared so much it ached. But I swallowed it down because apparently I wasn't worth a cake. Not even a candle. The first year I waited. The second year I hoped. The third year I begged. By the fourth, I stopped asking. Friends weren't sept any better. I remember scrolling through my phone, staring at blank notifications. Nothing. When I asked later, they shrugged. Oh, I didn't know the date. Sorry, I was busy. Busy. Everyone was always busy when it came to me. That's when I started talking to myself, whispering in the dark like I was the only one who could hear me. Happy birthday, I say, blowing out the candle on an imaginary cake. You made it another year, alone. It hurt. God. It hurt. But it was the only celebration I ever got. One night, I tried again, my voice trembling. Mom, do you even remember when I was born? She sighed, rubbing her temples. Of course I do. Don't be ridiculous. Then why don't we ever celebrate it? Her answer cut me open. Because some things just aren't important right now. Not important. That was me. Dad chimed in once too. You should be grateful for what you have. We put a roof over your head, don't we? I wanted to scream. I didn't need just a roof. I needed love. I needed proof I mattered. But I stayed quiet, always quiet. On my 16th birthday, my sister smirked. Oh wow, you stir upset again. Grow up. Nobody cares about birthdays after 12. I snapped. Maybe nobody cares about mine after 12, but you got a party last month, didn't you? Her smile froze. Not my fault people like me. The words sank like poison. Maybe she was right. Maybe I was unlikable. Forgettable, disposable. That night, I locked myself in my room. I lit a single candle I stole from the kitchen. It wasn't on a cake, but it was all I had. I stared at the flame, whispering, Happy birthday, me, you're the only one who remembered. And for the first time, I didn't cry. I just felt hollow. Slowly I stopped expecting. Stopped waiting for footsteps down the hall. Stopped hoping for surprise hugs or whispered songs. Because birthdays weren't about me anymore. They were about who mattered enough to remember, and I clearly wasn't one of them. The walls inside me grew taller, stronger. Every forgotten candle was another brick. Every excuse was another lock on the door to my heart. And behind those walls, I kept repeating the same truth. If they can remember me, then maybe I shouldn't remember them. That's when the cracks in my love for them began to show. And once love starts cracking, it never stops breaking. The sound of balloons rubbing against each other, the smell of frosting, the crack of laughter that didn't belong to me. That's what my sister Sip's birthdays felt like. Every year the same scene played out. Smile, sweetheart. Mom's voice always rang brighter on her day. Don't forget the cake knife. Dad rushed around, excited. And my sister? She just basked in it. Arms crossed, smirk painted across her face. Took you long enough, Dad. Everyone laughed. Everyone adored her. I clapped, pretending to join, my hands stung with every fake applause. Once I leaned toward Mom, my voice small. Do we ever do this for me? She didn't even hesitate. You're not the kind who enjoys parties, right? You've always been quiet. I bit down hard on my tongue, quiet because no one ever listened. Dad joined in too. Your sister works so hard, she deserves this. You should be proud of her. Proud. That word pierced. like my worth was measured only in silence. I stood by the wall, watching her blow out candles that should have been mine once. She caught my eye, smirking. "Better luck next year," she whispered, just loud enough for me to hear. My stomach twisted. Rage coiled tight. I wanted to scream. What about me? Do I not exist? But I swallowed it, choking on the bitterness until it burned my throat. Photos were taken. Always. Her laughing. My parents' arms around her. The perfect family. I was in the corner, blurred, a shadow clapping, half hidden. Later I saw the photos online. Captioned, "So proud of our star." I checked every angle, every shot. I was there, but I wasn't. A ghost trapped inside the frame. At dinner one year, I gathered the courage. Why is it always her? Why do we never? My sister cut me off. Because I actually give them something to celebrate. Maybe try harder? The table roared with laughter. My parents didn't stop it. They joined in. I froze, fork in hand. My chest was a furnace. "Try harder," I whispered. No one heard, or maybe they just didn't set care. After the guests left, I tried one last time. "Dad? Mom? You know it hurts, right? That you never—" Mom snapped. "Stop being jealous. It sup's ugly." Dad added. "Be grateful. Not everything is about you." Their words sliced deeper than silence ever could. I went upstairs, slammed my door and pressed my hands against my face. Jealous? Ugly? Ungrateful? I replayed those words until they became my reflection. I wanted to tear the photos down, smash the cake, scream until the walls cracked. But I didn't. I sat in the dark, tasting the rage like blood in my mouth. The next year the cycle repeated. Balloons, cake, candles. I stood at the doorway, arms crossed. "Come on, don't sulk," Mom hissed at me. "Just be supportive for once," Dad added. Supportive? For once? I clenched my jaw so hard it hurt. My sister strutted in, glowing. "Wow, you so really gonna stand there looking like a funeral? Lighten up, it steps my day." I forced a smile that felt like breaking glass. "Yeah, your day, always your day." She tilted her head, smirk widening. "Exactly, glad you finally get it." The rage inside me coiled tighter, like a snake in my gut. I wanted to strike, but I stayed still. Because silence was safer. Silence kept me hidden. But that silence turned into something else. Something darker. Later that night I whispered to myself, "They don't see me, they never will, I step nothing but their shadow." The words echoed in the dark, bouncing back like poison. But beneath that poison a seed grew. I wouldn't stay a shadow forever. They thought she was the golden child. The perfect one, the star. But stars burn out. And when they do, shadows are all that sep's left. I thought 21 would be different. A milestone. A chance to finally matter. So I booked the restaurant, set the table for 12, sent out the invitations myself. This time I told myself, they shall come. I arrived early, arranging menus, checking the candles. My hands trembled. I rehearsed the moment in my head. My parents walking in, smiling, my sister hugging me, cousins cheering. I waited. The first message buzzed. "Sorry, can make it, work sep's too much." Dad. Then Mom. "Oh, I completely forgot. Rain check okay." My chest tightened, but I forced a smile at the empty chair across from me. "It steps fine, they still come later." 10 minutes passed, then 20. My phone lit up again. "My sister, with friends tonight, we celebrate later." Later? Always later. The table looked ridiculous. Plates untouched, glasses full, food going cold. One by one the excuses rolled in. Cousins, friends, everyone. Not one showed up. Except him. Aaron, my coworker. He walked in, scanning the room, then froze when he saw the empty chairs. "Where is everybody?" I swallowed hard. They couldn't make it. His eyes darted around the long table, then back to me. "All of them?" "Yeah," my voice cracked. "All of them." We sat, just the two of us, surrounded by plates meant for 12. The waiter kept glancing over, pity in his eyes. I hated it. Aaron leaned forward. "You invited your whole family?" I nodded. parents, sister, cousins, even some old friends. And no one came? My throat burned. I forced a laugh that sounded like glass shattering. Guess I had him easy to forget. He didn't set laugh. He didn't set even smile. Instead he looked straight at me and said, "You don't set owe loyalty to people who can stead even show up for you." The words hit me harder than silence ever had. I stared at him. What do you mean? He shrugged. Family, friends, whatever. If they can be here when it matters, then what are you giving them all your love for? They sip already chosen where you stand. My chest tightened. But they supper my family. Aaron shook his head slowly. Family is set blood. Family is who shows up, and clearly they didn't set. I couldn't set answer. My tongue felt heavy. I looked at the food spread across the table, untouched, mocking me, every dish I ordered with them in mind now just wasted. And for the first time, I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel the usual ache. I felt nothing. Numbness. Cold and sharp. Aaron broke the silence. You know what I think? What? I whispered. They'll never change. Not your parents. Not your sister. Not any of them. But you can. His words sank deep, like an anchor. The ride home was quiet. My phone buzzed again. Another empty. Sorry, another promise of later. I didn't respond. I sat in the dark, staring at my reflection in the car window. For years I begged for candles, for cakes, for someone to say my name like it mattered. But that night, I realized something. I could stop begging. Because Aaron was right. I didn't owe them loyalty. Not anymore. Funny how life circles back. Once I begged for their attention. Now they begged for my help. Dad called first. His voice cracked. Desperate. Son, we need you. The bank steps after the house. Just cover a few payments. It's the least you can do as our child. As our child. I bit my tongue to keep from laughing. The least I can do, I whispered. You mean like the least you did for me every birthday? He went silent. Then Mom called. Tears laced every word. Please, sweetheart. This is family loyalty. We took care of you. Now it's your turn. Family loyalty. I almost choked. Family loyalty. Where was that when I was alone at a table set for 12? Her sobs grew louder. Don't say that. You said you're being cruel. Cruel. The irony stung. My sister didn't cry. She barked. Stop being selfish. You've got money. We don't just help. Isn't that what family sep's for? I let her words sit in the air. Then I spoke. Low, sharp. Funny, I asked the same thing when I was 16. Remember what you said? Silence. Stu, not my fault people like me. Stu, those were your words. Still silence. I sat in my office, the mortgage papers spread across my desk, their desperation scrawled in every overdue notice. For once I wasn't invisible. I wasn't and forgotten. I was holding the key. They showed up at my apartment, all three of them. Dad Sip's voice shook. We still lose everything. Is that what you want? I met his eyes. I lost everything years ago. And you didn't blink. Mom reached for my hand. Don sept punish us for mistakes. We still your parents. I pulled back. Parents? Parents show up. You didn't My sister folded her arms, glaring. This is pathetic. You acting like a child. Grow up. I leaned in close, my voice like ice. No, for once you are all forced to look at me, to see me, and you hate it. Her glare faltered, just for a second. They kept pleading, voices overlapping. Please, just this once. We pay you back. You are our only hope. And inside me, something shifted. I remembered the cold cake at my 21st. The empty chair at 16. The fake smiles at my sister Sep's parties. Every forgotten candle. And suddenly I felt nothing but calm. I stood gathering the papers. You want help? Here it is. Their eyes lit up with relief. For a moment I saw hope flicker. I dropped the papers into the shredder. The whirring sound filled the room. Their hope turned to horror. Dad lunged forward. What the hell are you doing? I didn't flinch. Leveling the score. Mom Sip's voice cracked. We still lose the house. I whispered. Steady? I lost my home a long time ago. You just didn't set notice. My sister Sep's face twisted. You subtle regret this. You think power makes you strong? You said pathetic. I smirked. Pathetic? No. Pathetic was clapping at your birthdays while choking on my own tears. This is justice. They left in chaos. Shouting, cursing, crying. I stood by the window, watching their car pull away. For the first time, I didn't feel like the forgotten one. I felt like the match pressed to their burning house. The silence after was heavy, but it wasn't lonely anymore. It was powerful. Because I finally realized they needed me more than I ever needed them. And I wasn't set going to save them. I didn't set scream. I didn't set argue. I just didn't set sign the papers. Silence. That was my weapon now. The calls started first. Dad's Spit's voice cracked through voicemail. Please, son, just sign. We such were drowning. It's such was the least you can do. I such was been begging you. Click. Deleted. Then Mom. Her tone shifted every day. You stare breaking this family apart. Click. You shall regret this. Click. Please, sweetheart, don't do this to us. Click. Her words piled up like trash on my phone. My sister didn't bother with begging. She spat venom in voice notes. You sir pathetic. Click. You owe us. We raised you. Click. You shall always be nothing without us. Click. Her rage didn't sting anymore. It fueled me. They knocked on my door once. I watched their shadows under the crack. Heard the pounding fists. Open this door, Dad shouted. We know you set her in there, Mom cried. My sister hissed, coward. I sat on the couch, lights off, phone in hand. Silent. Unmoved. Because for once I wasn't invisible one. They were? Their noise couldn't reach me. My silence was louder. Another voicemail came late one night. Dad again. His voice broke mid-sentence. Please, they shall take the house. I don't know what to do anymore. I closed my eyes, listening to the sobs of the man who once told me birthdays weren't important. I whispered into the dark. And now neither are you. Then I hit delete. Mom tried a different tactic. She showed up at my office. She stood at my desk, tears streaming. You stir our child. You can just stand by and watch us suffer. I met her eyes, cold. Watch? Mom, I been watching my whole life. Watching you forget me. Watching you celebrate her. Watching myself disappear. So yes, I can watch. Her face twisted. She didn't know what to say. She left. My sister cornered me in the parking lot a week later. Do you think this makes you strong? Sitting there smug while everything falls apart? I didn't flinch. This makes me free. She stepped closer, voice sharp as a blade. You shall regret this. You shall die alone. I smiled, small, sharp. I already lived alone. You just didn't notice. Her eyes faltered for the first time. She walked away. I kept my silence. No signatures, no callbacks, no apologies. Every ignored knock, every unanswered ring, it was the birthday present I never got. Wrapped in years of neglect. Tied with ribbons of revenge. And it was perfect. Because silence wasn't empty anymore. It was power. Whispers spread faster than fire. Neighbors lowered their voices when I walked by. Relatives leaned closer, pretending their questions were concern. Their mortgage. Party stopped, huh? Didn't their daughter have a college fund? Their castle of pride was crumbling. And I just watched, quiet, detached. At a family dinner, Aunt Lena leaned across the table, eyes sharp. Is it true? They asked you for help? My fork paused midair. Yes. She whispered. And you said no? I sipped my water, calm. I didn't say anything. Her lips curled. So all those birthdays they forgot. All those times they overlooked you. This is why. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Relatives started piecing it together. Uncle Kareem cornered me in the hallway.
Son, everyone's stalking.
Why one you help your parents? I met his stare. Did they ever help me? He faltered. They still your family. I leaned closer. My voice was a blade. And I was still their son. Did you see them light my candles? Did you see them clap for me, Or was I just the extra chair at the table? He had no reply. Even the neighbors joined in. Mrs. Darcy, old and nosy, stopped me outside. Such a shame, your parents losing everything, weren't they always throwing parties? I smiled faintly. Not for me. She frowned, confused, but the words hung there like smoke. My parents tried to control the story. Dad called a cousin, loud enough for everyone to hear. Our son Sepst abandoned us. After all we Sep done. Mom cried into the phone. He Sep's heartless. He doesn't Sep care if we Sept are homeless. But whispers twisted their words. And soon people were asking the one question they hated most. Why didn't Sat you remember his birthday? I almost laughed the first time I heard it. The wound that shaped my life, finally dragged into the open. It was instead me speaking. It was everyone else. Their empire of bragging rights, flipped upside down. Aaron was the only one who didn't Set whisper. He looked me straight in the eye one night. You know what this is, right? I shrugged. What? Justice. His voice was steady, but heavy. Not revenge, justice. You didn't push them into debt. You just stopped carrying the weight they dropped on you years ago. I stayed silent. Because a part of me wanted to believe him. But another part, the darker part, wanted to admit the truth. Maybe I did want revenge. Maybe I wanted them to feel the emptiness I felt. Forgotten, invisible, unwanted. My sister finally cracked. She stormed into my apartment, eyes red. You think this makes you powerful? Watching us lose everything? I stared back, cold. I think this makes me equal. She laughed bitterly. Equal? You so pathetic. You will always be the shadow. I stepped closer. No, I was the shadow. Now I Sep, the spotlight, and it Sep's blinding you. Her jaw clenched. She had nothing left to throw but silence. The cracks spread wider. No more parties. No more champagne glasses clinking under chandeliers. The golden child Sep's college dreams, gone. The family name, once polished, now stained. And me? I didn't lift a finger. I just watched. Cold, detached. But inside, the satisfaction was twisted. I remembered Aaron Spitz's words. This isn't Stet revenge, it's Stet's justice. Justice. Maybe. But late at night, when the whispers quieted and the city slept, I knew what it really was. Poetic. Brutal. And mine. Desperation has a smell. Sweat. Cheap cologne. Fear. I smelled it the moment my father barged into my office. Do your duty, he roared, slamming his palm on my desk. His face was red, eyes wild. You think you got here on your own? We raised you, we fed you, you owe us. I leaned back in my chair, calm while he shook with rage. You fed me scraps of attention, and I grew on hunger, not love. His hand curled into a fist. You ungrateful little. I cut him off. No. I semi-realistic. I stopped expecting a family years ago. His jaw tightened, his power drained, and he walked out, muttering curses under his breath. The next night it was my mother. I opened the door to find her collapsed on the step, mascara streaking her cheeks. Please, she sobbed, clutching at my ankle like a child. We still lose everything. Don't stout let us drown. You stout our son. Her tears fell hot against my skin. I bent down, whispered so close she could taste my words. You called it family loyalty, but loyalty goes both ways. Where was yours when I needed you? Her sobs twisted into something sharper. You monster, she hissed. After everything you regret this. I straightened. No, Mom. I regret waiting this long. I closed the door. Her fists pounded against it until silence finally swallowed her. But the worst came from my sister. She cornered me outside my apartment, her voice trembling with rage. You pathetic. You think ignoring us makes you strong. I said nothing. You were never important anyway, she spat. Her voice cracked. The words split me open. I froze. My chest tightened. For years I'd tried to convince myself otherwise, that they forgot me because they were busy, distracted, careless. But no. Her scream ripped the truth out of me. They never forgot. They just chose not to care. I finally looked at her. My voice was steady. You suffered right. I was never important to you. And that sufter reason why you sufter no longer important to me. Her face drained of color. You don't set mean that. I stepped past her. I mean every word. Inside my hands trembled. But the trembling wasn't weakness. It was release. Their desperation stripped away every illusion I had clung to. The hope that maybe, deep down, they loved me, that I mattered. No. I was the extra seat at their table, the forgotten candle on a cake that never got lit. And now, I chose not to care about their mortgage, their debts, their downfall. I chose me. For the first time, that choice didn't feel selfish. It felt like survival. And survival was mine. 30. I never thought I'd make it here without dragging the weight of them behind me. But here I was. My own apartment, my own table, my own cake, and one single candle. I struck the match. The flame hissed, then bloomed. For a second, I just stared. That tiny light felt louder than all the years of silence. Aaron Sepp's voice broke the stillness. Go on. Make your wish. I laughed softly. I don't even know what to wish for anymore. He leaned back, smirking. That's because you finally have everything you need. I traced the wax with my eyes, remembering every unlit candle before this one. 6 birthdays ignored. A dinner table full of laughter without me. A sister blowing out candles while I clapped like a fool in the shadows. Parents who could remember debts, but not my day. My throat tightened. Aaron watched me carefully. You sir thinking about them? I nodded. Yeah, I used to imagine this moment would feel empty, like I couldn't celebrate without them, but it doesn't set. He tilted his head. What does it feel like?